What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to discuss the possibility that there could be a false flag on the United States that will be blamed on Iran, but in actuality it would have been committed by Israel. I want to discuss this possibility. Now, I'm not saying there's a 100% chance there will be a false flag, but it's a possibility that we should consider. When I say false flag, I mean there will be a big attack on the United States, maybe some sort of monument, just like 9/11, and it will cause great anger in America, cause great anger towards Iran, and it will be blamed on Iran to basically bring the United States into war, because that is in Israel's interests. So Iran doesn't want war, America doesn't want war, but Israel wants war. Israel wants a regime change war, and they want to overthrow the government of Iran. Now, America doesn't want to do this. Trump clearly does not want war. He showed frustration when Israel and Iran both violated the ceasefire. He was very mad at Israel in particular when they were dropping bombs on them just a few hours before, 12 hours before the ceasefire. He was very angry. You could tell. He said they both don't know what the fuck they're doing. And this guy, he was clearly angry. He wants peace. So America wants peace, but they don't want Iran to have a nuclear program, which is why they bombed it. And and Iran's still continuing to is still going to continue working on it. They're going to keep on enriching uranium. They're going to keep going with it. They're not going to stop. So they're not going to reach a nuclear deal. But they will both want peace with each other. They don't want to fight each other. But it's in Israel's interest to go to war with Iran and to drag America into war. So how will they do this? They'll do a false flag. They're going to attack a U.S. base and blame it on Iran. They did this in 9/11, okay? It was an inside job, and they blamed it on the Muslims to drag America into war in Iraq. And that's what happened. That is what happened, and they lied about weapons of mass destruction. And right now, Benjamin Netanyahu has been lying for 30 years about Iran being very close to having a nuke. So it's a very similar situation that we're seeing, and we have to consider the possibility that there could be a false flag. Now, this is not a 100% chance. We shouldn't assume that they're going to attack us, but it's a possibility, and we should be prepared for the worst. And I hope it doesn't happen. No one wants that to happen, but it's a possibility. And a lot of these neocons within the government, like Mark Levin, are already saying, people are saying there's going to be a false flag. They're going to blame, if there's an attack on America, they're going to blame it on Israel. They're already saying that. So they're basically saying that something's going to happen. They're implying something's going to happen, and they're already telling people, okay, it's not a false flag. People are going to say it's a false flag, but it's not, because they're worried. They're worried that people are going to wake up and they're going to realize that they're not going to be tricked. They're worried that the public is not going to be tricked into thinking that this was a job by Iran. So they're already telling people, it's not going to be a false flag. People are going to say it's not. They're Iranian bots. They're Iranian agents. They're being paid by Russia and Iran. There's reports out about this, and they're basically exposing themselves as people. They're basically exposing themselves and saying, okay, they're going to attack us. It's not going to be a false flag, because they don't want people to think it's going to be a false flag. They don't want people to realize that it's a false flag. And it worked in 9/11. It worked. Everyone got angry at the Muslims. America went into this big, giant Islamic hatred. They hated Muslims, and they wanted to go to war with Muslims, and that basically encouraged this Iraq war, and if the wars in Afghanistan, and all these wars in the Middle East. And they're trying to do that with Iran by attacking America, and they're going to blame it on Iran. And they're already preparing for the possibility that people will realize that it was a false flag and saying, it's not going to be a false flag if it happens. So they're outing themselves. So this is a possibility that we need to consider, and yeah, that's all I have to say about it. It's a fucking joke. It's really bad. This is very strange times. We're basically in World War III already, and that's just how it is. I mean, Trump showed some frustration at Israel, and I believe it was genuine. He's very frustrated with Israel since they, keep on just sabotaging everything for them. They keep on wanting to sabotage peace. They don't want peace. They want war. They want a regime change war. And they want to drag America into this. And Iran seems to be aware of that, and they don't want to be overthrown, which is why they have been enriching uranium to 60% and things like this, because they want a deterrent for Israel so they don't get overthrown and they don't get toppled. So that's basically it. Trump doesn't want to do that. Iran doesn't want war. Trump doesn't want war. Israel wants war, and that. So they're going to try to force America into a war by doing a false flag. That's the conclusion of it. So yeah, guys, thank you for tuning into this video. See you next time.